Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos. Seguimos en el Encuentro Internacional de Caricatura e Historieta 2025. Muy contentos de que esté con nosotros el caricaturista francés KAK, que viene por Cartooning for Peace. Pero bueno, para quienes ya lo conocen, vamos a platicar sobre su trabajo. Y para quienes pues, lo quieren conocer más, pues dónde pueden acceder a su trabajo y que les platique sobre Cartooning for Peace. It's so nice to meet you finally. How are you experiencing your participation at this event?
Well, I knew Mexico as a country before because I used to work in the film industry before.
Oh, you did.
And I was promoting French cinema in the world. And we had a big French film festival in Acapulco, actually. So I came several years. I visited like Mexico, a bit of Yucatan, but I never came to Guadalajara. And I must say, everybody told me the book fair is like a huge event, and there are many people, but it's different to hear about it and to actually witness it, to see it for real. It is so impressive. Like it's a huge event. So for us, cartoonists, we often feel like we are really small.
Yeah.
And nobody sees us, and unless we get assaulted or killed by someone, and then suddenly everybody speaks about cartoons, but then we are not really seen and obvious. So being in such a big event, being so visible, and I can feel a lot of respect and interest in the audience for cartoons. This is a big motivation for us.
And we are motivated that you are here. Please tell us about yourself and the way you started doing making cartoons, drawing, your influences. Please, I know a lot of people know who you are, but a lot of students may be interested in
of course,
knowing your. Please tell us about it.
Of course. So my artist name is KAK, K-A-K.
Yeah.
I'm a cartoonist for a French newspaper, a daily newspaper, which is named L'Opinion, The Opinion. And two weeklies. One is called Franc-Tireur, and another one is Le Film Français, which is a trade magazine in the movie industry.
Yeah.
So that's my work as a cartoonist. The biggest one being the daily, because it's 5 days a week, and I'm on the front page, and I'm mostly cartooning about French politics and world economy. This is my work as a cartoonist. How did it start? Well, I mean, I started cartooning when I was a teenager because I wanted to make fun of my family.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, cartooning has always been my way of expressing the jokes I want to do about people around me. So for me, this is important because it means from the beginning, for me, humor isn't a weapon to harm someone.
Yeah.
For me, humor is a tool to get connected with people around me by making fun of them, and they can make fun of me.
Yeah.
And this humor is actually kind of a complicity. It builds bridges because we are able to make fun of each other. And I think this is really important because many people tend to think that cartoonists are aggressive and they want to destroy things by making fun at you. No,
some are.
Some are. Usually we are a bit
aggressive
with we are a bit aggressive with powerful people and people who abuse their power. That's usually what we do. We tend to be less aggressive with like ordinary people around us because they're just like us. I mean, they're citizens, and unless we want to make fun of something, but sometimes it's like to reach a hand. You're reaching out. You're making fun. Do you know that what you're doing is a bit ridiculous? Yeah. And if they tell us, well, yeah, but what you're doing is a bit ridiculous too, yeah, good. Yeah. Well, that's humor. Yeah. Let's talk. So I started like this, but I became a professional mostly in the last years when L'Opinion hired me as a cartoonist for the front page, because suddenly I went from part-time cartooning, like for a weekly here and there, and I had another job. And suddenly that was my main job. Every day I had to cartoon from in the front page of a newspaper. That was 12 years ago. And this is a big responsibility because the clock never stops. The thing is, when you cartoon for a daily, every morning you can hear the clock, and you know that by 7 p.m. in my case, you have to deliver your cartoon.
Is it easy for you? Does it come naturally, or do you have to have a lot of rituals for it?
People might not think, but it's a lot of work.
It is.
Yes. Not so much doing the cartoon itself. That depends on your style. Some cartoonists have very simple way of cartooning, like especially in France. Some of them just do a few lines, and like you were speaking about Volinsky or Cabu, so they have a way of cartooning very simply.
Yeah, I'd rather that way.
It's a lot of work in the beginning, but then when they have to do cartoon, they can do it in 10 minutes. It's like very quick.
Yeah.
Some other cartoons are like more sophisticated. Like my work is a bit like comic books. There's more like colors and shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And you know this because in Mexico, you have so many cartoonists that have a huge graphic talent.
Yeah, indeed.
So, but that's making the cartoon like drawing. But the big work is finding the ideas.
Of course.
And this, you never know how long it's going to be, because sometimes you are very inspired. You wake up and you have this great idea, or the topic you're covering is really inspiring and you immediately find something funny or something relevant to the point. But sometimes your brain just doesn't go there, and it's long and it's hard, and this is the big part of the work. It's really tiring, but it's also really exciting, because cartooning for me is a bit like you're a baker. At the end of the day, your production is visible. It's here. It exists. It's on, it's on a newspaper. So it's really rewarding because you get published like instantly. This is really big satisfaction for the work you give.
And what are your main themes? What are your main concerns that you reflect in these cartoons?
Well, most of the cartoons I have to do for my daily, I don't choose the topic, because my job is to make a cartoon about the main topic of the newspaper.
Yeah, I see.
So it's very often French politics.
Yeah,
not interesting.
I've seen them.
Yeah, not very interesting for international audiences.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can do bigger things. When I get to choose, which is when I work for the dailies, I get to choose the topics I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my biggest concerns are, the biggest one I think I have would be about disinformation and fake news.
Yeah.
Because I am personally convinced that the bigger threat for our planet is environmental issues.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
For sure. It's a huge topic for me too. I keep doing cartoons about it. And the second one I think is disinformation, fake news, because for me this is the biggest threat for our democracies. Why? Because democracies is a group of people who don't agree about anything, but they still have to do things together. We have to live together. So we talk. And we say, okay, you think this, I think this. Where is the compromise? Where can we compromise and say, okay, you give me this, I give you this, and then we can work together. We can do things. But what if we don't even agree about the facts? We don't even agree that 2 + 2 is 4. You say, no, it's not 4, it's 5.
Yeah.
You cannot build a human society anymore, because everybody's close in their own truth. And then it's war. There's no way of getting along, because to get along, you have to understand why the other person is having their opinion. But that's based on facts that we share. Mm-hmm. So I'm really convinced that fake news is a huge danger for democracies. So I tend also to use my cartoons to try to raise awareness, especially with the younger audiences, and tell them, you need to get a reliable information. You need to make sure that the facts which you are building your opinions are based on facts. Mm-hmm. These facts, you need to check them, make sure they are reliable. And then, of course, you can have any opinion you want about it.
What about human intelligence and sensibility? That's one of my main concerns. What the digital world is doing to human intelligence and to human sensibility. A lot of authors have talked about it. A lot of philosophers. What is your point of view in this subject?
Well, two things that have to do with one another. The first one is what I just said. Mm-hmm. The digital world has flaws as big as the qualities.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I was born before the digital age, so I know what I'm talking about. Suddenly, everything is available to you just in your pocket on a small screen. Everything, the whole world knowledge is here in your hand. That's amazing. And more, you want to say something to the world, you can. Just put it on the screen and then send it there. And it's like a bottle, and maybe someone will see it. Incredible. It's a huge power. But with huge power comes huge responsibility. Mm-hmm. You can't just do like anything with it. You have to be serious about it. And so the digital world has both this ability you can access knowledge, but you can also spread false information to everyone.
Of course.
That's one of the big effects. The second one is, because most of the websites we go to are actually social networks. Most of the day, that's what we do when we check messages and we speak with people, and so all the social networks. We all know that now. Their algorithms are made for you to stay as long as they can. They want you to stay as long as they can.
Yeah.
And of course, for this, they will provide you things that they consider as interesting for you.
Of
so
course.
They will maintain you in your old bubble of interest, of topics. And they put us in little boxes, and you will be in that box because that's what interesting for you. I will be in another box because and so we don't get to talk to each other. We're like locked in bubbles,
of course,
where everybody is just the same as we are. So after a few years, we tend to think that the whole world is just like me. So I want the whole world to be just like me. Why is it different? It shouldn't be different. Everybody's like me. And your mind suddenly loses the ability to understand the diversity of humankind. You just don't understand anymore why other people are different, because when you go on your social network,
of course,
everybody says the same as you. So you tend to, you're losing tolerance.
And would you say that the cartoonist can make a difference in this subject?
Well, I think cartoonists have two qualities to make a difference. One quality is part of our job is to help our co-citizens, the other people, to reflect on who we are. Mm-hmm. So we not only do cartoons about politicians and powerful people and whoever, we also do cartoons about our society, human beings, and what we think is funny or ridiculous or really, really nice about the world around us, about our neighbors, about whoever we live with. So this is already our job, to tell the other citizens, beware, this is where we're going. Are you sure we want to go that way? And we make cartoons about it. Yeah. And the second thing is we make cartoons. We're not writing texts or doing like long documentaries. We do something that you can understand in 3 seconds. It's really viral, as we say now, in the digital age. So I think it's really compatible with using the social networks. A cartoon is really easy to share. It goes like super quickly, and you can easily share it. So I think it's two of the advantages that we have as cartoonists, that maybe we can bring a little stone to trying to make this world stay stable.
You're right. Please can you tell us about Cartooning for Peace? Yes. You are the president of Cartooning for Peace. Please tell us about it.
Cartooning for Peace is a network of 380 cartoonists all around the world in 80 countries. And it will soon be 20 years old. It was created in 2006 by Plantu, famous French cartoonist, because he wanted to use cartoons to, first of all, make sure people understand cartoons. So we are publishing them, we are doing exhibitions, we are doing conferences, so people get used. Because the cartoon is very codified. There are symbols, there are metaphors, there are kind of humor. So we try to promote cartoons. And then we use cartoons to speak with students. We go to schools, colleges, and university, high schools, wherever, in France and around the world. Cartoonists go and we exchange with the students about human rights, about freedom of expression, and about living together. And actually what we try to do is we try to teach them what is debating. What does debating means? Debating doesn't mean only you express yourself. Yeah. Debating means you also listen to what the other person says, especially if that person doesn't agree with you, and you try to understand why, so you can answer. That's debating. And that's how you build a human society, discussing about things that we don't agree about. And the third thing that we do is we try to help cartoonists wherever they are in the world. If they are in danger, like they receive threats or they're losing their job because there's censorship, or worse, they get arrested or sometimes tortured in some countries. And we try to help them as good as we can, whatever, communicating, letting them know, making noise about it, helping them to pay for a lawyer, helping them to pay for new computer because everything they had was taken away by the police, or this kind of thing.
We are so glad that you are here in this event, because part of the event is not only that which is important, the talks, but also the way we interact with our fellow cartoonists. Please tell us where can we find your work, and where can we find the work of how can we access Cartooning for Peace online?
I'll start with Cartooning for Peace. Yeah. So it's in English, Cartooning for Peace. Yeah. Just all the words together, .org. Yeah. The website is free access, and you can find cartoons there. You can find all the cartoonists that are members. Some of the cartoons are available there. You have profiles, like biography profiles, including myself. So you can find a lot of things on this, and everything that we do, it's in multiple languages. So this is easy. And then my work as KAK, you can find it on social networks. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Yeah. You have to look for me as Monsieur KAK. Monsieur as in French,
Monsieur
like
KAK,
MONSIEURKAK, Monsieur KAK. And you will find me there on the social networks.
Well, it's so nice to meet you, and it's so nice that you are here with us in the Encuentro Internacional de Caricatura e Historieta, al que seguimos invitándolos. Síganos en las redes, amigos. Y bueno, KAK, it's so nice to be with you. And let's go back to the Encuentro.
Muchas gracias.